Hi, welcome to Ocean Yumi's channel. So today I'm going to talk about Bill Cosby's son. Somebody actually brought this to me because I didn't know about. I didn't even know he had a son. To be honest, I didn't know. I haven't really looked into Bill Cosby's background like that. So I didn't know that this had happened. That he had a tragedy in his life, like the unaliving of his son. However, I did watch a bit of the video on it, and it did look like it was a setup because I feel that at the time Bill Cosby was very outspoken on a lot of stuff around certain times, and I feel. Well, no, I keep saying and I feel. You know me, I always say and I feel and I feel. So I think in this situation, it appears like it was an assassination situation. Um, I think during this time, I think this was a time of separation and certain stuff. I think it all depends on the parts in which Bill Cosby, which they lived as well. Um, I might play, I might play a little bit of a video um, on this because it's one of those ones where it's historic. It's a historical thing. It's a historical thing. So let me just stop sharing this now, and see we could. I don't know if anybody knows about what happened to Bill Cosby's son. Um, so I don't know. I might talk in between as well. I might interject in between because if I see something of like so let me see. I could find.
Wasn't
Hold on. Hold on. Give me a minute. Let me just get it. Okay, so what I'm definitely gonna do is play a bit of the video because it's new to me as well, right? So obviously I'm learning about this, just learning about it. Though I've watched a video on it, I might put in my opinion in here and there. I might do another video on it because you know me, I might go off and I might see something else. Being that how it's already been archived already, it's of interest because this is something what happened where the times, I don't know. I'm gonna see the times that it's set in because there was a lot of things going on in America as well. There's a lot of things going on. I think what's riot might have happened. Certain stuff might have happened, but anyway. But I'll just see too because it's new to me too. So this will be an eye opener for me too.
Inquirer that led the LAPD to the suspected killer of Ennis Cosby, but now Bill Cosby may take legal action against the tabloid. At issue is an article that suggests the entertainer's wife, Camille, hired gunmen to find the killer. The Cosbys demand an apology and a retraction. According to their spokesman, if that doesn't happen, they'll sue.
Comedian Bill Cosby is threatening to slap the National Enquirer with a lawsuit. Cosby wants the tabloid to retract statements that suggest he and his wife hired a gunman to find their son's killer. He's demanding a retraction and an apology. In the meantime, the man accused of killing Ennis Cosby sits in jail. But what do we really know about Mikhail Markhasev? Greg Rivera tells us that the more we learn about him, the more disturbing the story becomes.
He had me on the ground right here, trying to stab me with the knife and everything.
Bobby Chapman had a run-in with Mikhail Markhasev long before all the headlines, a run-in that Chapman says was motivated by racial hatred. It was back in October of '95. Chapman and some friends were at this gas station in Los Alamitos, California, when they encountered Markhasev.
I walked over to him, he called me a nigger. That was the first thing he called me, a nigger. I said, I don't appreciate you coming at me like that and everything. And then we got in it from there. Started fighting and everything, and that's when he poured the blade out on me.
Jomo Guinness was with Chapman.
He probably thought, yeah, okay, well, you know, I'm gonna show off for my girlfriend and at the same time protect my hood against these niggas.
Chapman says an off-duty police officer saw the fight and stopped it. Markhasev was charged with assault with a deadly weapon and sentenced to 1 year in juvenile detention camp. He was released after serving half that time.
The law is careful about letting the jury know about prior bad acts.
Stan Goldman is a professor at Loyola Law School in Los Angeles. He says that if a defendant has a history of a race crime, the prosecution will fight to present that evidence to the jury.
The prosecution in a case like this, where they've got any evidence at all,
Bill Cosby has finally spoken publicly about the greatest pain a parent can experience, the death of a child. In an interview with CBS News broadcast today, Cosby talked about the murder of his son, Ennis, who was gunned down on Los Angeles freeway earlier this month. Cosby emotionally described the family's grief, their anger, and how they buried Ennis in an herb garden at the Cosby home in Massachusetts.
We joined hands, and we had on clothes like this, and it's cold, Massachusetts, and some snow is still there. I set the coffin down over the hole, and I said, we now want to give praise to God for allowing us to know him. Not for giving him to us, but just letting us know him. There's a difference in this house. Mrs. Cosby wants this man. I mean, she verbalizes. She wants him. She doesn't accept the fact that nobody comes forward to help with the truth. I've always imagined if somebody killed one of my kids, I mean, I would go get 5 .357 Magnums. Then you start to think about the person that you love who's gone. And then that part of them comes to you and says, hey, Dad, you have to go back to work, man. You know, not people want to laugh. Dad, you have to go back to work.
So I didn't even know the mic was off earlier. This is another side of Bill Cosby that I've never seen. I've grown up with the Cosby Show, other things what he's done. I can't even think, but the Cosby Show was the biggest one for me. I literally did not know that he had a son. I didn't even know he had a daughter. I didn't even know what happened to his son. To me, I feel for any parent who's lost a son or daughter in any circumstances. It's sad. This also puts me in mind of the Stephen Lawrence situation over here. Like, you know, where it was racially motivated. It was racially motivated murder. And there was a lot of emotions with the parents. So I will think at this time for Bill Cosby, there's a lot of emotional stuff going on. Like, you know, Bill Cosby is this figurehead, or was at the time the figurehead of certain stuff. He spoke out about certain stuff. He was similar to not Kofi Carmichael. I can't remember the other one who used to be a comedian who used to come on certain things and used to speak out. The situation to how the son passed is you know, I want to find out the time, you know, because the 60s, the 1960s and the 1970s was mad them times. Like the Watts, I think, I don't know why the Watts riot keep coming to my head. Like there was a lot going on, and even for someone like his son who achieved a lot, because you see him in graduation garb on the pictures. You know, you see him like he was graduating, like he was becoming somebody. And it just seems like I feel for any parent to go through the loss of a child, then like you have to, then it's like it's like he had to put in mind, you know, that my son would want me to continue to do the stuff that I do. Now, there is other things I've seen whilst looking up this situation. Talk of sacrifices and everything else. I just think that this is how I feel, right? Because I know these things go on. Now, the reason why I don't talk about it on this channel, because YouTube is so sensitive. Even when you're talking about little things as empathy and little things, they tend to snipe it down. Now, yes, I've heard of stars, artists, rappers sacrificing families and all this stuff, even to a fact that how they say that how they must have set it up for him to get assassinated. I don't think so somehow. Now, you can call me naive on that one, but I feel around about the times when a lot of things was happening, because there was a lot of things happening. People was fighting for civil rights and all sorts of things was going on. And the fact that it is a Ukraine immigrant as well, it's kind of scary stuff. Like, you know, like you are walking along, you're doing your normal thing, and then somebody takes you out and you're not even doing nothing. And it's just like, I feel with this situation here, it's a tragedy. It's actually a tragedy. I know people's going to say, "Oh, but Yemi, you're looking at it a certain way." No, I'm not looking at it a certain way. It's a tragedy. I think I did cover the Stephen Lawrence situation, which was quite similar, because Stephen Lawrence's parents went through a lot till they literally divorced because of everything else that was going on around their son's unaliving and stuff like that. And I feel that Bill Cosby and his wife was no exception at the time. And also, it's sad times, because like to bury your child, right, when it's supposed to be the other way around, like as you get older and you get, you know, like you get older, you know, you pass, whatever, it's supposed to be the children that bury the parents, not the parents burying the children. And this situation here is quite sad, to say the least. I'm going to let him talk a little more, because like I said, this is basically racially motivated. There's no, I mean, even the guys that came onto the interview said that how well he called me the N-word. You know, he was targeting, and then, you know, he unalived someone, basically. But let Bill Cosby continue giving tribute to his son.
And you start to laugh. His spirit from there wouldn't allow us to walk off and be anything other than what he wants, our family.
Later in the interview, Cosby also talked about the woman who claims to be his daughter. Cosby admits he had an affair with Autumn Jackson's mother, but denies he's the young woman's father. Jackson faces charges she tried to blackmail Cosby. Still to come in tonight's news.
Yeah, the daughter situation. I saw that. I saw the daughter situation. I didn't know what was that all that about. I don't know whether I should try and even understand that situation. I don't know. I don't know whether I should try to understand that situation. It's just sad anyway. It's sad for anybody to lose a child. Let me see if I can get what happened in the call.
And if you could just let us know your name, it'd be great.
Robert Brown. Well, I'm a 747 captain.
President, represented by Deputy District Attorney Ken Ingalls, and that the jury is also present at this time. May I see the hand of the court?
There's no remorse on his face. I don't know whether people peep that. There's no remorse on his face. Can I get it bigger so we can see his face very clearly? There's no remorse on this man's face. Not one inkling, not one, not nothing. He's got no remorse for what he did. Yeah, I'm gonna let it play before I even comment or go further, because yeah.
Call the matter of the people of the state of California versus Michael Markhasev, case number VA 109470. Let the record show.
Count one. We, the jury, in the untitled action, find the defendant, Michael Markhasev, guilty of the crime of murder of a human being, and is Cosby.
Smart children in your seat. Mr. Hall, does the defendant wish the individual members of the jury to poll?
Yes, Your Honor.
Clerk will then poll the individual members.
Juror number one, are these your verdicts? Yes. Juror number two, are these your verdicts? Yes.
He has a black woman defending him as well. So that's interesting, that how, though he unalived someone who's black, he's a black lawyer. But look at his face. Look at his face. I wonder if this dude is still alive. That's what I want to know. Is he still alive, the guy who did the murder, who unalived? Who unalived they're saying it's an accident. Oh, you know me, I'm sorry, I'm just doing some little looking. See, they even call it cold-blooded.
Inside the tragic murder of Ennis Cosby, Bill Cosby's son who was killed in cold blood. Published by All That's Interesting. On January 16, 1997, Ennis Cosby pulled his car over to the side of a Los Angeles interstate to change a tire and was brutally gunned down by Mikhail Markhasev during a failed robbery. George School Ennis Cosby lived with dyslexia until it was formally diagnosed when he was an undergraduate. From then on, he sought to help other students with learning disabilities. By the 1990s, Bill Cosby, untainted by future scandals, was known as one of the funniest men in America. But true tragedy befell the famous comedian on January 16, 1997, when his only son, Ennis Cosby, was shot and killed while changing a tire in Los Angeles. Ennis, who provided his father with endless material for jokes and helped inform the character of Theo Huxtable on The Cosby Show, was on vacation in LA when he got a flat tire. As he worked to change it, 18-year-old Mikhail Markhasev tried to rob him, and shot him instead. In the tragic aftermath, the Cosby family lay the blame for his death in two places. Markhasev had pulled the trigger and ended Ennis's life, they said, but American racism had fueled the deadly attack. This is the sad story of the life and death of Ennis Cosby, the only son of the disgraced man once known as America's Dad. Growing up as Bill Cosby's son. Born on April 15, 1969, Ennis William Cosby was the apple of his father's eye from the beginning. Bill Cosby, an established comedian, and his wife Camille already had 2 daughters, and Bill fervently hoped that his third child would be a boy. Delighted to have a son, Bill frequently used his experiences with Ennis in his comedy routines. And when he co-created The Cosby Show, which ran from 1984 to 1992, Bill based the character of Theo Huxtable on his own son, Ennis Cosby. According to the Los Angeles Times, Bill wove Ennis's struggles with dyslexia into the show, depicting Theo Huxtable as a lackluster student who eventually overcame his learning disability. That directly paralleled Ennis Cosby's life. After being diagnosed with dyslexia, Cosby started taking special classes. His grades soared, and he went on to study at Morehouse College in Atlanta, then at the Teachers College at Columbia University in New York City. According to the Los Angeles Times, Bill Cosby's son intended to get a doctorate in special education, with an emphasis in reading disabilities. I believe in chances, so I do not give up on people or children, Ennis Cosby wrote in an essay, as reported by the Washington Post. I believe that if more teachers are aware of the signs of dyslexia and learning disabilities in the class, then fewer students like me will slip through the cracks. Cosby, handsome and athletic, also had his father's sense of humor. Bill Cosby once happily related a story in which he told Ennis that he could have his dream Corvette if he got his grades up. According to Bill, Ennis responded, "Dad, what do you think about a Volkswagen?" But tragically, Ennis Cosby's life was cut short when he was just 27 years old.
That's young.
The tragic murder of Ennis Cosby. In January 1997, Ennis Cosby flew to Los Angeles to visit friends. But around 1 a.m. on January 16th, he suddenly got a flat tire while driving his mother's Mercedes SL convertible on Interstate 405 in the Bel Air neighborhood. According to OK magazine, Cosby called the woman he was seeing, Stephanie Crane, for help. She pulled up behind Cosby and tried to convince him to call a tow truck, but Ennis was adamant that he could change the tire himself. Then, as Crane sat in her car, a man approached her window. His name was Mikhail Markhasev, an 18-year-old immigrant from Ukraine. Markhasev and his friends had been hanging out at a nearby park and ride lot when they saw Ennis and Crane's cars. According to history, Markhasev was high when he approached the cars, hoping to rob them. He went first to Crane's car. Alarmed, she drove away. Then, he went to confront Ennis Cosby. But when he was too slow to hand over his money, Markhasev shot him in the head. The news struck the Cosby family, and the world, hard. "He was my hero," a tearful Bill Cosby told television cameras. Meanwhile, CNN received significant criticism for airing footage of Ennis Cosby's body lying on the side of the road.
Oh, what?
But it took time, and a crucial tip, for police to track down Ennis Cosby's killer. After National Enquirer offered $100,000 for any information on Ennis Cosby's death, a former friend of Markhasev's named Christopher So reached out to the police. According to the Associated Press, he accompanied Markhasev and another man as they looked for the gun Markhasev had used, then discarded, in Ennis's death. So told police that Markhasev had bragged, "I shot a nigger." It's all over the news. Police arrested the 18-year-old in March and later found the gun he discarded, wrapped in a hat that contained DNA evidence pointing back to Markhasev. He was found guilty of first-degree murder in July 1998 and later sentenced to life in prison. Though the Cosby family released no statement on Markhasev's sentence, Ennis Cosby's sister Erica did speak to reporters as they left the courtroom. According to the Washington Post, she was asked if she was relieved, to which she responded, "Yeah, finally." But in the years to come, Ennis Cosby's death would strike his family as an open wound, in more ways than one. Mikhail Markhasev's confession to his racist killing. After Mikhail Markhasev murdered Ennis Cosby, Cosby's family struggled to make sense of the senseless tragedy. His mother, Camille, poignantly wrote an op-ed in USA Today in July 1998 that lay the blame for Ennis's death at the feet of American racism. "I believe America taught our son's killer to hate African Americans," she wrote. Presumably, Markhasev did not learn to hate black people in his native country, the Ukraine, where the black population was near zero. Camille added, "All African Americans, regardless of their educational and economic accomplishments, have been and are at risk in America simply because of their skin colors. Sadly, my family and I experienced that to be one of America's racial truths." Adding to the Cosby family's pain was the fact that Mikhail Markhasev refused to accept the blame for Ennis Cosby's death. Until 2001, he denied that he pulled the trigger. But in February of that year, Markhasev finally admitted his guilt and declared he would stop appealing his sentence. According to ABC, he wrote, "Although my appeal is in its beginning stages, I don't want to continue with it because it's based on falsehood and deceit. I am guilty, and I want to do the right thing." Markhasev added, "More than anything, I want to apologize to the victim's family. It is my duty as a Christian, and it's the least I can do, after the great wickedness for which I am responsible." Today, decades after Ennis Cosby's death, Bill Cosby's life has changed dramatically. His star has fallen mightily since the 1990s, as multiple women have accused the comedian of sexual assault. Bill was found guilty of aggravated indecent assault in 2018, before his conviction was overturned in 2021. However, he seemed to have kept his son Ennis Cosby in his thoughts all the while. As the comedian prepared to go to trial in 2017, Bill acknowledged all his children in an Instagram post. He wrote, "I love you, Camille, Erica, Aaron, Ensa and Evan. Keep fighting in spirit, Ennis."
Okay. Oh, I was gonna say, while that was playing, I was trying to find out whether the guy is still alive today. Whether he is still existing today. Let me see. If there is.
Killer of Cosby's son confesses. Published by ABC News, The Walt Disney Company. February 11th. The man convicted of the 1997 murder of Bill Cosby's son made a surprise confession Friday and said he no longer wants to pursue an appeal. The Deputy Attorney General acting for the state of California in the appeal case, Kyle Brody, released the contents of a letter in which convicted killer Mikhail Markhasev, 22, admitted his guilt. "I'm guilty and I want to do the right thing," Markhasev wrote to Brody. The convicted killer also wrote that he wanted to abandon the appeal because it's based on falsehood and deceit, Brody told Reuters. Markhasev also wrote, "More than anything, I want to apologize to the victim's family. It is my duty as a Christian and it is the least I can do after the great wickedness for which I am responsible." Brody called the statement powerful and said that he was stunned by the confession. "The Cosby family has been notified of the letter," Brody said. Markhasev added that he wanted to spare his family further public humiliation stemming from the ordeal. His appeal, filed in August 1998, was dismissed by the 2nd District Court of Appeal at noon Friday after Markhasev and his lawyer abandoned a bid to overturn the conviction. The Ukrainian immigrant was convicted in July 1998 and is serving a life sentence without parole in California's Corcoran prison. Markhasev shot 27-year-old Ennis Cosby at point-blank range in January 1997 after Cosby stopped by the side of a road just off a Los Angeles freeway to change a flat tire. Ennis Cosby was an educator who had been pursuing a doctoral degree at Columbia University in New York at the time of his death. His death prompted a national outpouring of grief. It also spurred public outcry and partisan wrath over a move by California Governor Gray Davis, who was then the state's lieutenant governor, to offer a $50,000 reward in taxpayer money to help catch Cosby's killer. Reuters contributed to this story.
Wow. Well, basically, I was trying to find out whether the guy is still living. The guy who unalived Bill Cosby's son. I was trying to find out if he's still around. Really, that's what I'm trying to find out, because when this happened, he was quite young at the time. And it's good that how Bill Cosby literally, because Theo, when I used to watch the Cosby Show, I remember Theo Huxtable as well. But I didn't realize he had dyslexic, because I feel that dyslexic at that time wasn't really spoken about. It wasn't really looked into, and the fact that how his son wanted to change that. Unfortunately, he didn't get chance to impact, though he impacted on the world in his own way. He didn't get chance to do what he wanted to do, his dream. And in the show, I don't even remember whether Theo did have an inkling of that. Maybe he did, but when you're younger and you're watching shows, you don't really clock certain things, right? Like you're into the show. I didn't even know. I mean, and seems like there was a lot of scandals as well around him as well. But it's like his son was his world. Bill Cosby's son was his world. Oh, and he also based Little Bill, I think, the character on Ennis as well. So Little Bill is created by Bill Cosby, based on the personality on his younger self as well as his son Ennis. Now, it wasn't until Ennis Cosby finally made it to college for 4 years, which is what they said, that they found out that how he had dyslexic. It's quite. That's something else. But like I said, the people that I can align this with is Stephen Lawrence's family, because Stephen Lawrence was supposed to be an architect, right? He wanted to make a mark on the world, and he got taken out through race hate as well. But his parents continued to leave a mark of their son on the world by creating buildings or certain places like that they know, because they know that their son was really into architecture. And when I'm listening to this story, it reminds me a lot about Stephen Lawrence, right? Even though Stephen Lawrence's dad didn't have no scandals or nothing behind him, but like I said, there was a breakdown of the marriage and everything else. And those times as well, when Stephen Lawrence died, was there was, I mean, there still is racism. Racism is the biggest, worst monster on earth. Is the biggest, worst monster on earth. It is so disgusting. It is so horrible. Even with what's his name? The young one that I did before this guy, before Ennis, Kendrick. It's like, it's so crazy to think that how there is people who think a certain way. There's people out there who think a certain way. And I've even seen videos where people saying, oh, well, I once was racist. And I'm just like, it's like that deep hatred goes so deep. It's like, it's mad. And when somebody loses their life and they're trying to change the world, and it's like, you're just like, wow, like, I don't know, maybe I can't put into words. Because like I said, nobody wants to bury their child. Nobody wants to bury their child. And it is sad when you hear of people burying their children for whatever the reasons, race, hate, whatever the reasons. I just say whatever the reasons. I just put it out there, whatever the reasons. It saddens. It's sad. It's a sad world. It's a brutal world. It's like, you can't, it's like, I mean, I did one video one time where, like, I said, boy, you can't even go down and walk down an estate and look at a house. I said that one time. I just couldn't believe how deep the fiber of a person can hate a people who are different to them, that they will go all out to unalive somebody. Like, you know, it's just like, when you're thinking you're trying to change people's mindset on how you are looked upon, and then you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, it's just crazy. And I do believe he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. It is racially motivated, which is what I did say when my mic was off. It's racially motivated, no doubt. Even to what he says, when you see him in the court, his face, I despise racist people with I do not like it. I don't like it. I don't even like the fact when there's division on certain stuff. And when people try to change that stereotype of themselves, there's always one person who seems to want to take it to that level. And you're just like, and I feel this is what Ennis was trying to do. I do believe he was trying to change things. He's trying to change things, how people looked at him as a black man, a black boy coming up, however you want to, however. It's sad. It's sad. It's sad. Like I said, I did not even know about this. And I used to watch the Cosby Show, and I used to love it because, you know why? Because the Cosbys was like this middle class couple, seemed like they weren't really going through a lot. Like, maybe like you see little things, and then like it's like the nuclear family as well. And it's just like, when you're watching this now when I'm looking back now and I'm thinking of the Cosby Show, and I'm thinking of what's it call it, the son in the show, I'm thinking, wow. Because Theo had this way about him. He was just like, he wanted to achieve a lot of things. I think he goes to Hillman as well. I think he ends up going to Hillman or Different World or something. And there's loads of cases where, like, I think even in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, they show there's a racist situation that comes into it. And you're just like, even though you're middle class and your dad is famous, you still have to come across the BS. And it's like, man. And I always says, like, can I not live? Remember the signs of the old pictures. I remember like the like in America particularly, where they'll say, "Am I not a man?" And it's just like, I feel with this is it. Is he not? Is he not human? It's just the color someone sees that they need to go after him, shoot him point blank range. I'm just like cold blooded as the term as it was termed. Though I feel like they tried to turn it into a robbery gone bad. I don't believe it was a robbery gone bad. I feel that how it was racially motivated. He just happened to be there. He was trying to change his car so he can get to A to B. And these people, okay, I don't like to call people these people in my vocabulary. No, right? Saw him, and because like in their words, oh yeah, like he didn't take the money out, so I pow him. And it's like, no, because when I got the video sent to me the first time, I had a conversation about the video, and I said, because on the titles they said, oh, it's assassination, it's this, it's that. No, it was racially motivated. Full stop. It's obvious. It's obvious. You don't even have to ask. Is it not what it is? All right. And I hate to get on my speech, my box, but it's just ridiculous. It's like he's trying to achieve to become somebody, and he got taken in his young age, because I think he's in his 20s when he got taken. That's young. And I mean, though later on they swing it to hit not Bill Cosby's stuff what happened. Though they're talking about his son's murder, they bring it to the scandals and stuff. This is a separate incident. At this time, Bill Cosby was a grieving father. First and foremost, he was a grieving father. Him and his wife were grieving parents, and it's like it's just swung the other way. And like I said, and I will keep repeating it, because I love repeating stuff. Nobody wants to bury their child. It's like, whatever the circumstances, nobody wants to bury their child. America have dark history in a lot of ways. There's a lot of dark history surrounding different states. There's a lot of dark history. It's horrible history. I'll just put it this way. It's horrible history. There's horrible history over here too. In the UK, there's mad history over here. The history in America is very dark, even to the ground. I'm like, so when I hear certain things, I always go to look at the state where it is set, because I know certain things used to happen in certain states, Mississippi being one of them. I can't remember another state. There's another state. But there's a few states where there's history. On a whole, the state on a whole have dark history, where it's concerning people who are melanated or black, or however you want to call it, term it. And to me, I know people's trying to change it. Some people just wants to go on like a bugaboo and be in the foolishness. But on the face of it, right? Things can change because things is changing, but whether I'm hoping it's going to change for the better, because the circumstances when this guy was growing up, it was mad, crazy. And I think to this day we still hear stuff like this. It doesn't matter whether you're in the UK or in the Americas, across the pond as they call it. If you're across the pond, and I know, I mean, if people, I don't know, some people's been around for some of this stuff. Even when I covered the Atlanta child murders on the dark side of the ocean, you know, that was disgusting how they were dealt with. It was really crazy. Like, certain things that happened wasn't dealt with properly due to their color or some craziness or the state they come from or something. It was always something. But anyway, I'm not going to go on my soapbox right now. Right? I'm just bringing this to the channel because I was asked to bring it to the channel. I know sometimes I talk about mummies and but serious things like this really, really gets my goat. Gets my goat. And there is other stuff. Like I said, every time I see something flash up on my timeline and I put it on my channel, there'll be loads of that on it. Literally. Because when you're watching it, when you're watching it from the outskirts, from the sidelines, well, I don't know, you're not even watching it from the sidelines. Sometimes you are literally in that, where people will come off, where you're walking towards them and they will come off the pavement and walk around you, where they hold their bag when they see you. That's the stereotypical thing. Or something happens and they'll say something stupid in the comments and you're just like, how do you know? Right? It's just very ridiculous at a point. It's ridiculous. This guy, I'm gonna try to find out if he's alive. If he is, I'm gonna put up a small video of him, of the guy who unalived Ennis Cosby, because I'll be intrigued to find out if he's still alive. I'm very intrigued now. I'm very intrigued because he's given the apologies and all that stuff. I'm not saying a person can't have remorse, but it's the crime itself is crazy. It's mad. And yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know whether I'm making sense at this time. I don't expect I'm making any sense. Hi, Quinton. I don't think I'm making sense at this time. I'm not going to make sense. Like I said, when I bring these cases, is very serious cases. They're not just like ones where you could talk about and brush aside. Sometimes I find myself going and delving and looking a bit deeper into it, and then I end up doing like 3-4 videos, lives on the thing. But it's just like this young man did not deserve this. Basically, he didn't deserve it. He didn't deserve it. It's just very messed up at this. It's messed up. Even looking at it now in 2004 is messed up. Nothing's changed. To me, maybe certain things have changed. Some things have changed. Some things haven't changed. Right? There are still people who stereotypical, oh, they're uneducated. This is why I love talking about Black excellence. When I put up them Black doctors, I love it. When I see people who's gone to Morehouse come out doing their thing, I love that. You know why I love that? Because what they are doing, they're breaking down the stereotype of how people see people. And when I see people who's looking up certain stuff, I have to question, are you racist? Or are you whatever? And I have to think to myself sometimes, because there is closet racist people as well. People can be closeted and they will say stuff and you're just thinking, where the hell that come from? And America and England, like I says, have a history of this. A history of this. Like, you know, I could put up a whole set of lynchings, this, that, and the other. For America, particularly over here, it was the sus law, the what's it, beating up of teenagers for no reason, New Crossfire. I can pull up a whole heap of things. Racism really gets my goat, and I hate it so much. And like I said, when you got to tell your child that if someone calls you a name, how to react to it, it's ridiculous. Or when they say certain stuff, or this and that and the other. And like there is teachers out there who might say to your child, like, you might not achieve, and then you have to say to your child, no, you can achieve, and you can do this, and you can do that. Like, not every person have stuff that they can do to push their child to certain levels, but some parents, they go all out and they really do push they push the child, and they come achievers like Ennis. Let me just put him a bit more on the screen. In fact, hold on, let me take let me put Ennis on the screen. Oops. See, I can find a better picture of him. It's just ridiculous. It sucks, you know. Look, see, he's in his graduation garb. You know, he could have changed the world. Now we'll never know. We'll never know. There was a lot of ignorance and a lot of anyway, I just feel like I'm going into speech mode right now. And this is not the reason why I went and I put up this this live. Basically, the live basically was to show people who Ennis Cosby is. For people who do not know about this young man, you should get to know who he is. Apart from him being on a live by a complete ignorant asshole, right? He, like, you know, I mean, there's not much. I mean, the most they cover is the on the live in that hand, and they're trying to say it's a sacrifice and all that BS. No, it wasn't. He was at the wrong place at the wrong time. I repeat, he was at the wrong place at the wrong time. He just happened to be changing a tire to his car. A robbery gone wrong. Or being in a situation where he innocently got taken out. But anyways, I'm not going to prolong this live, you know, because I feel like I got to get to the other. I might do the other one today. I don't know. I just feel kind of mad right now inside. I'm mad. I mean, I wasn't feeling that good already before, but now I feel that I need to go watch something a little more lighter now, because things like this really messes me up, messes my head, because I have a son as well. I have son and children. I have children, and it's like you don't ever want to put your child in the ground. You don't. And then on top of that, they bring up Bill Cosby's stuff, which have nothing to do with this story. It has nothing to do with Ennis's story. It was a complete different time. They even brought up that how Bill Cosby have a daughter, and he might have an affair. That's got nothing to do with this. It got nothing to do with this at all. Right? This boy wanted to change the world, and he never got a chance to do it. So what I say to our sons out there, you guys can change the world. Don't let your color, your skin color, be that stoppage. Don't let nobody on God's earth stop you. You don't have to do music. You don't have to be no rapper. There's so many other things you can achieve. You can either be the biggest millionaire out there. You start off with something small and you can turn it into something big. Right? There was 2 twins I seen on TikTok, and they said they want to start a cleaning company. There must be about, I don't know, I think they're teenagers because they're quite short, so I can't tell their ages. They said that how they want to clean, and they're going around cleaning places like estates and everything else. There is nothing you can do in this world, right? The world is your oyster, right? Because I just tell my son off sometimes about he wants to do music. No, you don't have to do music. You can be a mechanic. You can be like, there's loads of cooks. You can be the best master chef out there with the Gordon Ramsays and all them ones. Yes, you're going to get through the BS. You're going to get people asking you stupid questions. You're going to get the Karens coming at you with their stupid ass stupidness. But at the same time, you can achieve it. You can do anything. And this is why when I talk about that lady on there, I get mad. But anyways, that's a whole different conversation altogether. Okay? Right? When you listen to Ennis' story that he tried to help other people with dyslexic like himself, right? He tried to change it. He's tried to change it. The world is your oyster. Let's go grab it. If you are in your 20s, you're 18, you're 19, you're 15, you don't have to, you can do big stuff. You can do huge stuff. You don't have to let where you're living dictate who you are. Because I nearly broke out of the whatever, that silly stereotypical fool business. You don't let where you are dictate who you are. You can create whatever you want to be. And if you see somebody with certain stuff and he looks a bit iffy, or they say something to you and you feel like you have to correct them, correct them. You are not an N-word. Hi, Salama. You're not an N-word. You're not lower than. You're greater than that. And don't let the color of your skin stop you from achieving anything. Right? Don't let that do that. Like, for all we know, Ennis could have gone and achieved many things by now. He could have been some big thing. He probably would have had a Nobel Peace Prize already, for all we know. He never got a chance to do it because of an asshole. Straight up. All right? And it's 1 hour, and I'm going to come off before I say something I might not be able to take back. And because I see loads of stuff on here too. So I know what's going on. I know what time it is. But I'm glad the person who told me about Ennis's death, thank you for telling me about it, because I did not know about this. I didn't know. I didn't even know he had a daughter. I didn't even know. I've always put Bill Cosby in the Cosby Show. I can't remember the other shows he'd been in, but I always know him for Cosby Show. That's it. I don't know him for nothing else. And Ennis's death has nothing to do with what his dad did, what his dad's done, doing, whatever. His dad, all that stuff, what he was doing, where he assaulted women and all stuff, that's got nothing to do with Ennis. Ennis have nothing to do with it. So, like I said, it's 1 hour. I'm gonna come off. I'm gonna go drink my Limsit and take my asthma puff because I feel kind of. And I'll see you in the next live. Thank you for coming, Native, Quinton, and so and I see you in the next one because I'm supposed to. I don't know. I might do on What's Her Face. I don't know. I'm gonna do on my other on the other things. at hand, but I might put them in pots or together, however. So with that said, I will see you later because, yeah, before I go somewhere else. I will see you later. Take care. Bye.